Part 2. Political Controversies and Problems. Planned Parenthood. The selling of baby parts is the claim against this organization, which is often used as propaganda by the pro-life movement. I sometimes hear this movement is pushing this idea that abortion is Planned Parenthood's only service. Even if this establishment does sell baby parts, is that really as bad as both pro-life and the media make it sound? Yes, this organization is non-profit. However, if the selling of the fetal tissue is the offense which pro-life is upset about, then why is their movement anti-abortion? I agree that selling is wrong, because 1, it's a non-profit organization, and 2, they're selling fetal tissue, which is both disgusting and not for them to sell. Why not just take legal action against Planned Parenthood for that alone, though? Why aren't they simply trying to make the selling illegal, forcing Planned Parenthood to strictly donate? Has this movement ever researched fetal tissue to learn why this is happening? I just did, and there are medical benefits in fetal tissue. Looking this information up took me 10 minutes. 10 minutes! Women are also asked by a clinician if they want to donate. I would say why not just let the fetal tissue be donated, as long as these women are getting an abortion, but the pro-life movement isn't trying to get abortion to stop. The pro-life movement is only interested in protesting, preaching, and arguing, also to push its agenda politically. Well, they do want abortion to stop, but on their terms. Why not just take advantage of abortion, as long as the demand exists, because of their problems? I would say until nobody has a reason to get one, but nobody is even trying to eliminate those reasons. Politicians certainly aren't. They're all fixated on abortion, not the reasons for abortion. The selling of fetal tissue is not the only aspect the pro-life movement tries to use against this organization. They also propagandize that abortion is its only service. Planned Parenthood's website itself offers educational information. The main page has a Learn tab, which consists of abortion, birth control, cancer, emergency contraception, health and wellness, pregnancy, sex and relationships, sexual orientation and gender, sexually transmitted diseases, along with resources exclusive to teens, parents, and educators. These sections provide information and resources, although many have a hatred toward others who are different, so the sexual orientation section might offend them. That's irrelevant though, because Planned Parenthood obviously provides many other services, which is the point here. Is pro-life also offended by cancer and healthcare? No? Well, the pro-life protesters are discouraging others from learning then, as they accuse women getting an abortion of murder. Pro-life also likes to guilt-shame irresponsible teenagers, so how are they supposed to learn with the angry protesting in everybody's face? People may even be too afraid to look at the website at home, fearing their parents might catch them, or find it listed in the internet history. The parents seeing it, assuming abortion. Pro-life exaggerates, selling these parts to make it sound like an evil scheme, when it's simply dishonest. I won't bother with the history of birth control clinics, but Mike Pence is the main guy behind the attacks, which have been ongoing since 2007. While the main focus is eliminating abortion, people are being held back from getting information they need about other related issues, because even the politicians have the wrong idea. I don't understand how Donald defunding Planned Parenthood because of abortion, while he credits them for helping millions of women, makes any sense. Why shut an entire organization down because of one problem? Abortion offends Donald so much that he's willing to just stop this organization altogether, under the advisory of Mike Pence. This insanity makes Donald worse than his objection to abortion, to just deprive women like that. I guess couples would be a better word. Taxes are another issue which pro-life is angry about. Some people in this movement hate that their taxes are going toward this organization because their position is that they are in favor of life and that they're speaking for the unborn. saving lives. This ideology has even compared abortion to the Holocaust. After looking at Planned Parenthood's website, I guess they're also against information, which also means Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and the pro-life movement all wanted to fund information and shut it down. This movement also argues that abortion is killing entire generations off, which is partially true. The error here is, these women didn't intend to become pregnant, which means those generations were never intended to be born. So, pro-life wants them to carry through with the pregnancy to punish them, which means they want unplanned generations born. Again, maybe if this movement would focus on communication instead of protest and preaching, these unplanned pregnancies would become less and less. There's also the pro-lifes pushing for people to abstain if they can't afford to be parents. They are contradicting themselves because abstinence means no generations. There was lots of arguing over the definition of the term fetus, so I'll look at that now. Fetus, an unborn offspring of a mammal, in particular an unborn human baby more than 8 weeks after conception. The word is Latin, and this definition does say baby. I've thought about this myself, and after hearing Matt Dillahunty from the Atheist Experience say the fetus is the baby in the stage of development, the cell is obviously alive, even before conception. However, life doesn't actually begin until birth. The key word there is development. That's what's going on with the fetus. If their only problem with Planned Parenthood is their taxes funding it, why attack this organization? If none of their taxes are funding it, they shouldn't have a problem. Are taxes about what people want their earnings spent on? The pro-life movement needs to ask themselves, what will the outcome of stopping abortion by cutting Planned Parenthood off be? These people are so angry about abortion being used as birth control that they want every woman punished by being stuck raising the children they chose to abort. They don't care if the mothers are too young, immature, and irresponsible. And pro-life's only other option to them is abstinence. Pro-life says they're defending life, yet they're going to condemn the unplanned and unwanted children to a rough upbringing. Because of a tax outrage? This is responsible and logical? Wouldn't abstinence cause the rate of rape to increase? Oh, pro-life's philosophy is that choosing life despite rape is virtuous. So, rape isn't a problem. Pro-life says rape isn't as bad as abortion, while the Christians often argue rape in morality debates with atheists. God doesn't approve of masturbation, so look out, ladies. Actually, the ladies might start raping. The pro-life movement's official site. This is a book and not a YouTube video, so I'm unable to provide a visual of this website to go over it and explain what's wrong and why. Some people do need an explanation. I searched this site up to learn more about this movement. This website is long and consists of anti-Planned Parenthood propaganda, embedded YouTube videos, donation links, and various other links. Mostly, if not all, hearsay and accusations. No information, only Christianity-backed fear, guilt, and hate. If I was to make a video, that video would probably be a few hours long, to click on everything and go through it all. A legitimate and honest website would have the most important information or links on top somewhere, so the information and those links are the first things people see. This website confirms the pro-life movement to only be on a religious crusade of backward morality, using all of the reasons women get an abortion against abortion. A look at the new pro-life movement's website. Scrolling down a bit, I clicked on an embedded talking head video, a gentleman named Matthew Tyson criticizing the direction and tactics of the mainstream movement. He also mentioned he's against abortion being legal, but later said he understands abortion is all about the reasons why women get one, and that this movement has lost its goal, a legal and cultural battle. So I half agree with this man. What doesn't make sense here is he understands there are reasons why, yet he wants abortion to be illegal. If pro-life focuses on the reasons and actually starts solving problems, which will eliminate those reasons, abortion will either stop on its own or at least be minimized. I don't know how this movement intends to address the health reasons. Donald himself even understands there are exceptions when it comes to abortion. What also bothers me is they're only concerned about protecting the unborn. They have no concern for the mother-to-be. The other side to this movement, however, is that many people who identify with this movement subscribe to it for the wrong reason. I think those reasons also need to be looked at, because those people are only into it for their own gain, which makes it psychological. I'm not saying everybody in the pro-choice movement is perfect, but the pro-life movement is the main problem. The 11 pillars. Only 2 of these relate to abortion, which are the first 2. The rest are only their views on certain political issues. Number 1. The reasons for abortion include financial struggles, which is economic, so I don't understand why a political debate about abortion itself is in effect. If the economy is stabilized and everybody is benefiting in it, abortion shouldn't be a problem anymore. Of course, the economy would have always been stabilized and always moving forward if politics was legitimate. Maybe the women out there who don't feel confident simply need a psychiatrist or psychologist. Number 2. This movement mentions the right to live, which is nonsense because this isn't about rights, but dealing with the reasons women get an abortion. How does euthanasia affect the terminally ill or the elderly? This pillar talks about suicide to use as a tactic, saying suicide is the right to die, which is the other side to the right to live. There is no correlation between suicide and euthanasia. The mainstream pro-life movement calls women murderers, remember? The reasons for abortion. Rape is surprisingly one of the least common reasons. Incest is less common than rape. The reasons I read in the sources I looked at are personal or professional, financial, psychological, relationship-related, and health. Do any of these reasons suggest the women get an abortion with the intent to kill the fetus? Or that babies need some movement to defend them by being a social and public menace? Many women and couples are going through hardships or crises, which means there are probably social and economic problems due to the commonality of each reason within society. There's also the pro-life's taxation upset. They're only determined to stop their taxes, not dealing with the reasons. Their mentality is, life is all that matters and everybody's problems are their own fault. Sex education in schools. 17 states have abstinence-only sex education, which teaches students to wait until marriage. This teaching obviously doesn't include birth control or contraception. This means that these states value marriage over education, the students learning and understanding sexuality and reproduction. They would rather have these kids hold back for the sake of marriage than to have them know what they're doing. If that's the case, they're only using abortion as an excuse to push this obviously religious agenda. What about when these students become adults and do get married? They aren't going to have intercourse just to have a baby. They also won't know anything about diseases. Will they know enough to get each other tested? Sex is pleasurable and is also an important part of a relationship. So, this waiting until marriage notion is insanity. We also all have urges. Our bodies don't wait until marriage. Marriage is a human concept, and a natural bodily urge isn't going to conform to our bullshit ideas.